Oh my God, I'm so upset. Every time I do a Zoom call, it resets the audio levels. Like, I work to make this thing try and sound good. And I caught it before I recorded today, and I adjusted the levels. And then, as you hear, I'll get into this big thing about pizza in the second half. And I stopped the file to see how long the show was. And I'm like, oh, everything is too hot. So I'm going to have to do some surgery on the audio here. So if the first 15 minutes or so sounds a little wonky, that's what happened. Then after the pizza story, I caught it. This is so annoying, but I have my good fastball today, and I don't want to redo the whole show. I hope you understand. All right, let's hit it.
Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. There was obviously some sort of Trevor Noah news embargo. I prepped the show early on Wednesday because I had to do an airport run. And then I came back and I'm like, let me see if there's anything new. And there were 50 million Trevor Noah stories all of a sudden. So that embargo must have run out at 10 a.m. The Hollywood Reporter caught up with Trevor. He's hosting the Grammy Awards for the fourth time. He's hosting it on Sunday. Back in 2020, Trevor was not the host, but he was nominated for Best Comedy Album. Again, longtime listeners know this. Trevor Noah doesn't have a comedy album. He has a comedy special that was released, but the Grammys and I define albums differently. I wish there were a Trevor Noah comedy album. I would play it on Live One, but there's no such thing, even though he got a nomination for Best Comedy Album at the 2020 Grammys. He lost to Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones, which really isn't an album either. That one, at least, Chappelle put out like 9 copies on vinyl, so theoretically it was an album. This year, Trevor Noah is going up against Chris Rock's Selective Outrage, special, not an album. Wanda Sykes' I'm an Entertainer, special, not an album. Sarah Silverman's Someone You Love, special, not an album. Johnny Mac, what's an album? An album is something that's preferably audio first, but at least has a version of it that I can buy like on a CD or a cassette or vinyl or an MP3 and just listen to it. These things don't even get repurposed these days. Anyway, Trevor Noah says, I'm nominated alongside my heroes Wanda Sykes, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle. I don't ever take those moments for granted. I think to myself how crazy it is to even be in the same category as these people. When I was thinking of doing comedy, Dave Chappelle was already an accomplished comedian. When I was thinking of starting to maybe tell somebody a joke, Chris Rock was already one of the biggest comedians in the world. And I guess he realized, oh, I better say something about Wanda. And the same goes for Wanda Sykes. Nice save, Trevor. So I've never been somebody who's in a rush to win or be thought of as the best at anything. I'm really, really, really not even saying this just to be humble or anything. I'm really happy and grateful to just be in that company. Trevor is nominated for I Wish You Would, which is a special, not an album, while Dave Chappelle is nominated for What's in a Name, which is a special, not an album. Trevor says, I'm glad it's happening in my 4th year hosting the awards because I think in my 1st year, that would have been an emotional overload. Being nominated for a Grammy is so momentous that I don't know how you could focus on hosting a show at the same time, and hosting the show is so much stress. There's so much that's happening live that you don't want to be distracted by this idea that you may or may not win an award. This may be the perfect time for it to happen. A lot more Trevor Noah over the next few days. Like I mentioned at the top, there's a zillion articles all of a sudden. Rolling Stone says that they can exclusively reveal that Sebastian Maniscalco will break the record for most consecutive comedy shows at Madison Square Garden. He's added a 5th night to his New York City stand. He sold out shows September 18th through the 21st. He has now added a 5th show, September 22nd. There was a press release. I'm going to split the press release here. All these quotes are attached to Sebastian Maniscalco. The first quote attached to Sebastian, I think he might have said, I am sincerely humbled and filled with gratitude for the unwavering support of my fans, granting me the extraordinary opportunity to perform 5 consecutive historic nights at the world's most famous arena. New York City, especially MSG, has shown me so much love. Maybe he said that. I've worked on some press releases in the past. I could see maybe a publicist wrote that and asked Sebastian, hey, you all right with this quote? And him going, yeah. This next part, yeah, maybe he said, my only goal when I got into this business was to perform for a living, and since it's taken me for a ride I've only dreamed of, breaking my own personal record here is not just a milestone, but a testament. Does Sebastian use the word testament? But a testament to the amazing connection we share and love for comedy. Thank you for the overwhelming support in making this journey unforgettable. All right, maybe he said that. But here I have in my show notes, I wrote ridiculous quote. Are you ready for a ridiculous quote? This ridiculous quote is attributed to Sebastian Maniscalco, who supposedly said, quote, brace yourselves for an elevated comedy tour, a unique experience unlike anything I've embarked upon in the past, from roasting today's absurdities, non-existent manners, wallet-wincing prices, and the social media circus. We'll all laugh at the wrongs in this shameless world. Nice that as he was giving a quote, he even used the press release rule of 3 there. Come on, guys. The other thing that all of a sudden has a ton of press, Curb Your Enthusiasm, also back on Sunday. Larry David announced a short tour. He will join a mystery moderator in Washington on March 29th and in Boston on April 1st. Tickets for A Conversation with Larry David and Mystery Moderator now on sale. Larry said, "Hi, everyone, it's Larry. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all. Just so you know, I've recently had plastic surgery on my face, and the doctor, which everyone raved about, totally botched it, leaving me devoid of all expression. So if I seem more sour than usual, that's the reason. But don't let it stop you from having fun." Now, that's a quote. That sounds like Larry David actually said that, or at least wrote it. Larry will also headline PallyFest on April 18th with the Curb Gang, including Jeff Garland, Susie Essman, Cheryl Hines, JB Smoove, Richard Lewis, and Ted Danson. And how about this? Friday through Sunday, Max, HBO Max, HBO Max, HBO Max will stage a real-life version of Latte Larry's, the Spite Store Cafe at the center of Season 10. I'll give you the address in a second. Get out a pen if you're in California. Latte Larry's will be serving up hot cups of Spite and extra dry scones in Culver City, 12430 Washington Avenue, and Venice Beach, 56 Windward. Friday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. The menu features vegan options, and stores will carry limited edition Manati's Curb Your Enthusiasm collaborative t-shirts and mugs, plus a special blend signature roast of Latte Larry's beans. There's a limit of 1 coffee and scone per customer while supplies last. That's fun. Bill Simmons has Larry David on the newest edition of his podcast that I didn't get to listen to it yet. I did pull the transcript, and for today's Daily Comedy News, I just pulled a part about the Jets because I'm a known Jets hater. And I'll go through the transcript and pull some more stuff out tomorrow. I just didn't have time to go through an hour of transcript that I haven't actually heard. When I've heard things, I make mental notes like, oh, go to the 36-minute mark and pull this part, but I haven't listened to Simmons yet. Anyway, the topic is Larry David not watching Jets games live because he golfs on Sunday. And he says, I record the games. And after the first or second week, everybody knows, don't text me. I'm going to watch the game later on. So this goes on until I send a text out and go, I don't give a shoot anymore. Just tell me what's happening. You can text me during the game. It doesn't matter. It's over. So Bill Simmons was like, last year, what was that, around week 13? Simmons says, it seemed like there was a moment last season where the Jets were going to suck you back in, that they were lingering, and maybe Aaron Rodgers would come back. Larry said, I never believed that for a second. That was ridiculous. The Street with the loaded headline, Bud Light partners with right-wing comic fired for racist comments. The subheading, the comedian lost his job at Saturday Night Live before he even started. Do you know who it is now? And he also made homophobic comments and jokes. Now, Anheuser-Busch has leaned further into politics by partnering with right-wing comedian Shane Gillis. Gillis and Bud Light shared the news on Insta. Shane posted a picture of himself at a brewery saying, excited to announce partnership with Bud Light. Hashtag Bud Light partner. The Street reminds us in a bit of a loaded way, while he's not a household name, Gillis became more famous for a job he lost than any job he's had. The comedian was hired in 2019 to join SNL, along with Bowen Yang and Chloe Feynman. Just hours later, a video went viral on Twitter in which Gillis mocks Chinese people using several racial slurs during an episode of his podcast. In a now deleted YouTube video, Gillis and his co-host shared a slew of racist, quote-unquote, jokes against Chinese Americans, mocking their accents and culture. I've never met Shane. I found his special last year pretty funny. While I've listened to his podcast in modern times, I did not listen to it back then, so I'm not familiar with the bit. And it's interesting that Bud Light has now pivoted from Dylan Mulvaney to Shane Gillis. I guess they want to appeal to everyone. So we've been having fun all week with, remember, however it was phrased, renowned comic or world famous comic Bobby Lee, and then renowned comic or whatever he was, Joey Gatto. So Fox Spokane wrote, Tom Segura, a widely known stand-up comedian. Tom Segura, a widely known stand-up comedian, will be headlining 7 unforgettable dates: Calgary, Halifax, London, Ottawa, Spokane, Vancouver, and Winnipeg. This all part of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Fox Spokane tells us it's the first time the festival will be making an appearance in the States. They're using Spokane as a test market. Joining Tom Segura, widely known stand-up comedian, are Bobby Lee, no qualification there, because I guess they assume everybody knows who Bobby Lee is, and hilariously relatable comedian Jessica Kirson. All right, I feel bad for Liz M. I shot her a note on the side. She had bought me 5 coffees on buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews and was looking forward to me saying nothing but good things about Adam Sandler movies. Originally, I said I was going to do this Saturday, but now I have all this Trevor Noah and Curb stuff, and just editorially, it doesn't make sense for me to hand in a generic this weekend, and then next weekend is Super Bowl. So maybe on the 17th, I will do it. Liz, I hope you understand. Also, cards up. If I put Trevor Noah in an episode title, it helps for SEO because people are looking for Trevor Noah's podcast and they find this one. If you're a new listener, hi, push that plus button on your Apple app there and follow the show. So Liz, I hope you understand. And Liz's kids, be nice to mom, will ya? Your mom is pretty cool. On Gossip Corner, Joe Coy visits Benny's Pizza in Beaumont. 12 News Now tells us Joe Coy was at the Parkdale Mall. He decided to visit several businesses inside the mall. The founder of Benny's Pizza is Brandon. He was in for a surprise when a celebrity showed up to his store. That celebrity, Joe Coy. Brandon says, I got a phone call from the store saying they needed to get inside of our showcase, that a customer wanted to buy something. When I arrived to open up the showcase, it was him. And I said, hey, that's Joe Coy. Apparently, Brandon owns a place called Vault 409. In case you're wondering why the pizzeria has a showcase, they don't. I left that part out. Let's see what Vault 409 is. Here I'm on the Parkdale Mall website. Vault 409 is the best, in caps, fashion emporium in the 409, housing brands such as Liberty and Kicks, Supreme Bape, Yeezy, Jordan, and much more. So it seems that Mr. Coy was interested in sneakers or something. While I'm on the website, one of the tabs says Eat. So Joe Coy, he got pizza. I'll get back to the pizza, but let's see what else he could have gotten. There's a place called Seafood Corner. That could be a segment on this podcast. Let's hit Seafood Corner and see what's going on. They don't have a menu up. They don't even have a logo. It's just plain text Seafood Corner. They're open from 11 to 7, and there are no deals at this time. Please check back later. Other places Joe Coy chose not to eat: El Viejo, Tony, Mexican Grill, Auntie Annie's Pretzels, always a good choice. R Taco, McDonald's. By the way, if you like McDonald's, we're doing a podcast called The Weekly Mac that's about McDonald's and fast food. It's strangely amazing. The Weekly Mac, wherever you get your podcasts. Sensei Japanese Cuisine, Domino's at a mall. Las Molcajetes, another Mexican restaurant. The Mellow Mushroom with pizza in their logo. Let's see what they got. Mellow Mushroom makes the best pizza in Beaumont. Bold ingredient combinations on a homemade crust make mellow pies the most delicious around. Not in the mood for a pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad. See how care goes in every item on the menu. They're open at 11 a.m. every day, if you're curious. Now, I want to know why Joe Coy didn't get his pizza there. Then there's Benny's Pizza, which we're going to come back to. La Cantina Mexican Grill, a third Mexican option here at the Parkdale Mall. Chinese Gourmet, Nothing Bunt Cakes, Cha-Cha Tea House, Taco Bell, in case the other 3 Mexican places weren't doing it for you, Burger King, Buffalo Wild Wings. Benny says they're bringing the best pizza to the 409, delivering specialty made pizzas, appetizers, and drinks you'll not find in your average pizza shop. Seems like there's a little pizza rivalry. These guys are open 10 to 8, except Sundays they close at 6. Anyway, when we last left... Isn't my podcast ridiculous? When we last left, owner Brandon was opening the showcase at Vault 409, apparently. And before Joe Coy left, Benny told him, you need to try a slice of Southeast Texas at Benny's Pizza. I wanted to change from what the old pizzeria had, add my crazy flavors, like brisket, garlic parmesan shrimp, just a bunch of different flavors that the city probably hadn't seen before. Benny tells us he absolutely loved the pizza. He actually bought some for his whole team. He left with over 4 boxes of pizza. We sell whole pies, but he ended up buying 18 slices for him and his team. Why would you buy 18 slices? Why wouldn't you buy 2 pies and 2 slices? We're told Joe Coy went traditional cheese slice, or as we call it in Queens, slice. I hate when I go to a pizzeria. This isn't green to me as a New Yorker. I'll walk in and I'll go slice, and they ask me what I want. I said slice. Slice means just a plain cheese pie, cut it in 8 and give me 1/8 of the pie. That's what a slice is. Just slice. Dude, come on. Benny says it's an experience I'll never forget. So this is the part where the audio sounds the way it's supposed to. That took the wind out of my sails. I was having so much fun with that pizza thing. There's no way I can do that again. I'll never do it as well. Who's at Sketchfest? That was awful. I knew the levels were wonky because of the stupid Zoom. Leave my levels alone, will ya? Every time it resets them. Okay, Sketchfest, Thursday, February 1st. 7 o'clock, the Bay Area Pun Off, sold out. That sounds like a good time. What is that? Some say it's an affliction. We're going to go ahead and call it comedy. Sketchfest invites you to celebrate the contagious power of the pun, the lowest form of comedy, the highest form of intellect. 7:15, a taste of Sketchfest, also sold out. 7:30, the Bechdel cast, Matt Bronger. Those are two different shows. Mortified with Jonathan Coulton. The Fast and the Furious, a musical parody. I'm making you go to that. There's nothing that would be better than that. South Asian AF. Boy, that's a great show. There's a lot of comedians on this. So many tough choices. 8 o'clock, Michael Shannon and friends play REM's Murmur. That's weird. 8:15, the wonderfully titled Comedians with Disabilities Act. 9:30, So Say We All, Vamp Nonfiction Showcase. Blends populist accessibility with an intense literary boot camp to produce polished multimedia performances of wild, absurd, poignant, and hilarious true tales. All right, if we were out there, I'd really like to see the puns. Can we do the puns at 7 and we'll leave early and run across town? I don't know where these are. Sketchfest is pretty stretched out across San Francisco. It's not like the Montreal Comedy Festival where most things are within 5 blocks, and if you hustle, you can get from one to the other. 7 o'clock is puns. 7:30, Fast and the Furious, a musical parody. I'm going to have to blow off puns and make you go to Fast and the Furious. I love the Fast and the Furious. That's like one of my favorite things in life. So I'll drag you to that. And then for a late show, see, we're also going to miss Comedians with Disabilities Act. Do we do puns in that? I also want to see the South Asian show, though. No, we're doing Fast and the Furious. And then we'll do a taste of Sketchfest featuring A Million Shetland Ponies, Cam Wiley, Day Trip, Liam Harvey, and Sage Houston. And that is your comedy news for today. I've got 2 stories, but they can wait for tomorrow because I have no idea what kind of levels I'm getting out of my computer now. They look fine, but I'm so annoyed at that 15-minute stretch there. I apologize. I will do a better job. Adam Sandler is right. I make terrible podcasts. See you tomorrow.